we need to distinguish between reduction as a sometimes useful method where we look at complex phenomena or systems and we analyze them in terms of parts that we can isolate, at least relatively, shield parts from each other and look at their individual profiles, and then try to reconstitute and understand the whole in terms of the individual profiles. That works really well for things we build because we build them precisely according to those specifications. But it doesn't work so well when you're trying to understand systems that are living, that where you could say the whole is more than the sum of the parts, because the whole is a matter of how the parts, which aren't individual things but are actually processes, how they are interrelated in such a way that they generate a whole that in turn makes them possible in their individual profile. So you have this sort of tangled hierarchy of top and bottom, or whole and part. And we need different kinds of logics and mathematics and conceptual tools for understanding complexity that isn't bottom down reduction. And this is just within the domain of science, of complex systems theory, in science. It could be in physics, it could be in biology, but we need these other kinds of systems thinking tools. And even there, the words top down and bottom up, in some sense, they get in the way of their metaphors, because there really is no top and there really is no bottom, right? Like if you're faced with sort of a tangled mess of things, and if you intervene and cut it up in a certain way, then you get what you call the bottom. And if you intervene in another way, then you get what you call the top. But really, there's just an ongoing kind of dynamic intercomplexity of processes, and top and bottom are sort of metaphors for something that has the nature of a network. And that arises in all sorts of areas in science. Yeah. So reduction as a method is sometimes useful, but reductionism that says, okay, so when we apply the method of reduction, then we arrive at what reality fundamentally is. That then becomes a kind of metaphysics. You put an ism on the word reduction. This is the blind spot. Reduction is a method, works for some things, doesn't work for other things. You put an ism on it, you get a metaphysics. And what we call, following Husserl in the blind spot, the surreptitious substitution, that's the substitution of a method for a metaphysics.
Right. Or the map for the territory, or
right.
the conceptual construct for the reality, which would be the Buddhist.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.